website, twitch.com, Thomas_Ochman. That's me. That's me. All right. Twitch TV, yes, of course, of course. All right. So, folks, this will be streamed, so make sure you follow this on stream instead of me having to share my screen at the moment. It's a little bit of general interest. We're going to try to keep this as brief as possible. This will not be a very long session. And hopefully we can get as productive as we possibly can. You see, there is an API. The URL to that API is newsapi.org.
Aaron is missing.
Well, he'll be here soon, right?
Okay.
Okay. So the URL to this one is newsapi.org. You need to, if you want to use this at some point, I'm not saying you have to use it today. This is not a code along demo, by the way, just so you understand. If you want to use this one, you have to register and get an API key. And this one is a fun one. I'm going to use this one in the context of our Crafty News API, which is like a workshop that we did where we create some news articles and so on. But we're going to extend that functionality with having external sources for our news, and those will be fetched from this news API. So, for instance, we can see here that we can get all articles from, let's see, from the US right now, right? So we can try this out. You can choose a category and the country that you want to work with. Interesting. We're going to take a look at this one. We're going to use this API, and we're also going to test for it, which means that we need to make sure that we're not hitting this API in our test environment, but rather in our using a fixture, a mock. Okay, and that will bring us to a very important gem that is called web mock. And you can read about webmock on rubygems.org. We're in RubyOnRails domain here. It was apparently recently updated. The version that is the latest one is 3.12.2. And rubygems.org is a very good source for finding out things about, or finding different libraries actually, and getting the documentation about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Rails demo.
Dela skärmen eller är det...
Oh, we're doing this on Twitch.
Okay, sorry.
So I'm going to go into my code base, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm in a good state. So I'm going to do git status, nothing to commit, git checkout out master, or main, or is it main? Hello, Lucas. We're on Twitch, so you need to go over there.
What's up?
You have to check out Twitch if you want to follow along. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're just gonna do git merge, create article. There we go. Now this is perhaps the first time you see somebody do this locally. You don't necessarily have to go through GitHub and create a pull request. You can just merge your branches locally as well. With the git merge command, and just put in the branch name here. So we're just going to clear this up, and I'm going to add this gem that is called webmock into my development and test environment. But I'm also going to say gem REST client here in the production environment, because we want to be able to make network calls in our Rails application. And there are many ways to do this. I personally find the REST client to be a good one. There is this net HTTP, and there are other ways to do this, but I think REST client is simple enough and pretty straightforward to do this. So we add REST client in the main source of our gem file, and we add webmock to the development and test group. And then of course we need to bundle up like this. And in order to make this happen, I would have to go into a console. Let's see, let's just do this in here so I can clear this up. And I'm gonna do Rails console like this. Rails console is a command that will load IRB and preload the entire Rails application. So any gems or any modules, everything we have in our Rails app will be loaded into this console, which means that I could, in principle, do something like this: news equals REST client dot get. Right? We want to fetch them from somewhere. And you have very similar methods here as you have with many other libraries. If you want to make a get request, you just say .get. If you want to make a post request, you say .post, right? That's pretty straightforward. So let's see, what did I want to get? I want to get this. So we're just going to pass this in as a string. But we will change a few things. We will remove the category here, and we will remove the US, but say SE, for instance, for Sweden. See if that works. Let's try that. Bad request. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Let's see if we can do SV. Also a bad request. So perhaps my
Should
API.
be two ants.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
No.
And now I don't know what I did wrong here. Let's do SE again. There we go. It was to the two ends. Thank you. Thank you. So now we want to see what are news, so we can do news dot body, for instance, which is the body of the request or response, and we get all of this for some reason very slowly. Is that because probably need to free up some stuff. Right, so let's stop this now. We just interrupted this thing. So we want to parse this into as JSON. So we would say JSON parse. Oh, wow. Whoa. There we go. Now nothing works. They interrupted a lot of things. So we're gonna have to quit code. That's what happens when you put too much pressure on your computer. That's interesting.
Don't do that again.
No. Well, I'm gonna have to, unfortunately. Damn it, that was tough. Let's have a look at that. Let's see. We're just gonna wait for a few seconds. Right, so Rails console again. That was, and we're gonna get this baby up again. Right, and then we will do JSON dot parse. No, actually we're gonna do something else. We're gonna say no, because that was too long. That was just what I did. We're gonna do copy or save. Yeah, save object in clipboard from IRB. Let's just check one thing here. Into my clipboard, so that should be PB copy, right? Right, so we should do system news dot body dot and then pb copy. Can we do that? No, we need to do something else. That's not gonna fly. So we're gonna do echo and then string interpolate new spot. Right, this is what we want to do. System echo into p. Right. Okay, this means that if I go to my code now and go to specs and I create a new folder and I call this folder fixtures, and I go to create a new file and we will say news.json. Let's try that. And now we just do this. That was not what I wanted. That was not what I wanted. So we want to do JSON parse this. No, that didn't fly either. Wow, motherfuck. Right? That's what you get when you come in unprepared. I was like, I'm just gonna do a quick demo for the guys.
Well, potentially use an API with a smaller body, maybe.
Perhaps. Let's just.
I don't know.
Neither do I. Let's just see if we can copy this. Okay, so let's just say this then. Let's just do this, and we say JSON equals this. Okay, and now we're just gonna do JSON. But why would he say something like this doesn't exist? This is weird.
Or make it in Postman and copy the response.
Yeah, I probably need to make that in Postman. Right.
I think that's how we did it.
I wanted to avoid that, but you know, that's life. So what did I do? I did this one, right? So we're just gonna grab these and go to Postman, and we're just gonna hit this, make a GET request. Right, so we have all of this, and how can we copy this? Is there like a, no, there wasn't a select all. So we're just gonna do this, and we're gonna go over here, paste this, format our code, and we're good to go. We have our fixture from Sveriges Radio and from other stuff, right? So that's the spirit, Lucas. Thank you very much for keeping me honest. We just do it in Postman. Why would we want to do anything harder than it is? Thanks. Right. Now we know. Okay, so now we have a fixture here, right? Okay, so now we can create a feature file for this. So we can say new file, and we can call it API fetches news from news API, like an external news API. So our API will talk to another API, which happens to be a very similar situation to what you guys are doing in the legacy code challenge, because that API actually talks to others. Do you understand? So this is the reason why I'm showing you this. And we will say spec, and we will just call this a Ruby file, right? And so we will say rspec describe, and we will describe a route that will be a GET request to, let's say, API external news. External, not eternal.
Eternal news.
External news. Let's just call it external, actually. Okay. And type will be a request spec. Do, and then we will say we will add a before block, and we will say get API, which is our internal route external, and then we would say it does something. Well, it's expected to fetch news and return them and respond and relay them. No, you just send them off and send them off as JSON. You know, that's the only thing we want to send them off like this, right? I guess. Okay. Anyway, expect response. You know, JSON parse response body to equal the fixture. You know, we're going to say no. You know, or we can call it expected response, right? And the expected response will be also set here, or even better as a let. So let expected response be something, right? And what would that be? That will be the fixture that we just created. Content of fixture. Content of fixture. We're not going to set it yet, because we will get to that in a second or two or five or whatever. And of course, we want to just do the very basic stuff. It should respond with status 200, so that everything is okay. I think that is good enough for us. Does this make sense? We have a fixture, and the fixture is a lot of articles, and in our test environment, when we make the call to this particular route, we want that to respond with the content of that fixture.
I just have one small question.
Yeah.
On the let here, why do we not use the bang like we have in others?
That's a very good question. However, I will not answer it now. No,
Okay.
no. So that it calls for a longer explanation.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so we're not going to do it now.
No worries.
Isn't it if you're using it or not? Kind of explicitly using the content?
I just said that I will not answer that.
Shut up, Lucas.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. No, it's exactly. It's lazy evaluated. So if you don't have okay, I will answer it. So if you're not calling on this anywhere,
Yeah.
then you have to have a bang, because you actually need to create it. And if you write it like this will only be created when you actually use it for something. Without an exclamation mark, it will only be used when it actually needed. That's why we call it lazy evaluated. It evaluates only on a need to have basis. And since I'm calling on it here, then I will use it. So
Yeah.
but I can still get into some issues with this. So the bang might come into play. And we have Australia with us. How you doing? That's good to have you. Are you woken up already? Didn't you go to sleep just a few hours ago? Anyways, let's have a look. So how do we load the fixtures in Rails in your test environment? Well, it says here somewhere that we do have fixtures. So we have fixture path. You see that in your RSpec configuration in your Rails helper. So you have a fixture path. So I can, and it points to the Rails root spec fixtures. So I haven't done it in a while, so I actually have to look it up. RSpec load or Rails load fixture. It will come back to me instantly. Rails fixtures not loading with RSpec. Fixtures in RSpec. Right, let's have a look at this one. File fixture, for example, read. Right, that's simple. Rails 5 adds simple access to sample files in spec fixtures file. So I just say file fixture this. Okay, that's awesome. I will just do file fixture and then just say news.json. Okay, so let's see if that's enough. Who knows? Let's quit this, clear this up. We do RSpec spec request specs API fetches and the API fetches this, and let's run line 11 only. We don't need to run the whole thing, and we will, no route. We recognize this by now, right? It all starts with a route. Oh, look at this. Oh shit, did you see this?
Oh.
Whoa. Wow. That's what you get when you do too much. Let's move this to trash. Let's also move this. Oh shit. Wow. That has, trust me when I say that's never happened to me before. Wow. That was a lot of cleaning.
I'm with it.
Is it gone? Is it gone? Damn it. Whew. Right, where were we? We're on Twitch. Arun, welcome to the stream. There you go. Camera's on and everything. All right. So we don't have a route. Let's fix a route. Now that we got rid of all this shit. Let's close all of this. Go back here, routes, and we're just gonna say resources, and we're gonna say external, right? External, and we will say only index. And I don't have to have it as an array because I know that in this case I will only have one, and even if I add it later, then I can create an array out of it, But so, sanity check. So it is Ruby on Rails, yes sir. It is. So Rails routes, and we should see on top somewhere here external. There it is. There it is. It points to an external index action. Do you see that? So we can do Rails generate controller API external and then index action, and we'll be good on this one. So we can now safely go into our up folder controllers, and we have a new controller here. We have the index action, and we're going to say binding.pry here, and we're going to run our test again. Let's just clip this up. Line 11, and we should stop the execution here in the index action. Do you see that?
Yep, now we see it.
Now you see it. Good. Oh yes, I forget that there's a second or two delay. Okay, so here what we want to do is to say, you know, news articles or external news. Let's call it external news equals REST client news equals REST. No tab.
News.
Client external news client, and then .get, and then something here, right? So that would be that that would be that URL that we got here, right? Yes, so we got that, and we got a 200 response, so that's perfectly fine. So we're gonna grab this, and we're gonna put this thing in here, and then we will just say, you know, that's the logic that we're getting from an external source. The data layer is not a database, it's not a file, it's actually an external API. So that's what we do, and then we just want to do render JSON, and we just want to render the external news. The only thing we are doing in our API, we just relay this. You know, the client is not making the call themselves. You know, the client calls our API is making the call, and then just relaying whatever answer it gets from that. Do you understand? Okay.
Well,
Yep.
Can I ask, is it best practice in this case to call it external, or is it just for
for me?
for show purposes?
Because it's for show well, because our API actually deals with some news items or news articles. I want to differentiate in naming that these are not our news; they come from an external source. You know, you can call this whatever you want. To be honest, you know. And the external controller is also a controller that doesn't really make sense, but you know, I would call it probably external news controller or something. You know. I got a follow from a guy that calls himself TTTTTTT, which is must be something like Thomas. It's a fan. I love it. Thank you for the follow. So, right, but we don't want to, you know, return the exact thing. We, you know, because that would relay the actual response. We want to, you know, send back the body part, right? And also we probably need to JSON parse it, right? Because it is a string when it comes to us. So we want to parse this as JSON like this. So that's what we want to return. So let's quit this. Let's run it again, to be honest, just so we see what sort of error message we get. Well, it did respond with 200 because we made the call and we relayed it. But we're not out of the woods yet, of course, because we want to make sure that the second one actually passes. So we're going to run the one on line 15, and let's see if that gets us into trouble. Does not contain file. Okay, so it need to be files. Okay. So we need to create a subfolder. We have to call it files, and we need to move the news JSON in here and run this. Again, I haven't used fixtures in a while, so you know. Right, and it failed because path name spec news JSON. So apparently I don't know how to use fixture files because it just got me the path name and not the actual content of the file. So I need to say .read. Okay, well, I missed that part. I just included the reference to the file, not the actual content of the file. So we need to say .read here. Let's see if that changes our error message or not. We don't know. Well, we got some difference, and this is a difference in formatting. You see, the green stuff is what we got, and the red stuff, no, the red stuff is what we got, and the green stuff is, no, hold on a second. Expected, right, exactly. The greens, the red stuff is what we got, and the greens. Oh, I don't know. Let's put a debugger there. I'm just
I
totally.
think expected red and we got green.
Perhaps. Let's have a look. Binding pry. Now it's a matter of two things: formatting it properly, because RSpec really cares about what things look like, and then just getting to grip of, to take the next step and not actually make the call, but try to stub it out in test environment. So let's run this again.
Yeah, probably you took it from. God damn it!
Yeah, I hear you. What?
I'm sorry. It's like this Twitch stuff is many seconds further. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Like, I actually don't know where you are probably, but the thing is that you copied the stuff from Postman in the pretty format, and there is the one that is like unformatted,
Yes.
and probably that's the difference. Maybe you
Yes.
already discussed that, but I didn't hear.
No. But that's
Twitch.
no. You're all good. You. I got you. It's probably that. So just let's take a look at the expected response. Is the nicely formatted one? No, it wasn't. It was a string actually. Right. So expected response to JSON. Can we do that? No, we cannot. As JSON, perhaps.
Are you parsing it twice?
I think I am. Actually, right now I'm messing things up pretty badly. Hooah! Yeah, I am.
Shit, then.
Damn it. Let's just open a new one, and let's stick our head in the sand and hope that nothing bad
Let's put that one
happens.
under the rug for later.
Right. So. Right. No, actually, that's not gonna fly. We need this. Oh shit. No, we need to. Okay, we need to restart this one. That's what it is. When you work with these kind of things might go south. Let's try it again. Right. So we want this to be file fixture read. And what was it? Did I say as JSON or did I do to JSON?
To JSON.
You wrote two, I think.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna do as JSON now, just for the sake of it. So let's just run this one again. This is the fun part, people. Experimenting. There's nothing to be frustrated about.
Wait, are we passing it in the test?
Right, and now we got this with all these things here. So let's say JSON parse expected.
In your controller, are you also parsing it there?
I am.
That's what I was wondering as well.
Because you're also parsing on line 17. So maybe you're parsing the response, and then you're parsing it again when we expect.
So you mean, yeah? But let's double parse it here now. JSON parse, because it will be easier for us if we want to debug this somehow, right? So let's just this No, Q this. Okay, quit. Don't do this. Don't do this again. Right. Let's comment this one out. Let's just run the test and hope for and pray. Let's pray. Yes. Okay. Which yes. So which means that I could easily remove this, or perhaps I don't know. Let's see. And in principle, if they are formatted in the same way, this should pass also. No, it did not. So we need to. So there are differences in parsing. So it's easier for us to just normalize this by doing this parsing here. Do you understand? So this one is should be good now. But you see, it works now because I'm actually making the call in my test environment. If one day would pass, there will be, the news cycle goes on, the world spins, and there will be new stuff happening, and this test would not pass because it wouldn't be the same thing. Do you understand? So that's where mocking comes in. We don't want to make real live calls in our test environment. We want to stub things out, and so we want to go on and change something in our fixture now. For instance, we want to say that the title is Rails testing in Sweden is flourishing. Is that how flourishing is spelled? Flourish. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's right.
This with O.
No, with the OU.
Okay.
I'm on Twitch. I'm a little behind.
Right. So this is the title that I've changed in my fixture, right? So now when I run this test, it will probably not pass, and if it does, then something is majorly wrong here. No, it did not pass because the fixture is different from what we are getting from the news API. Do you understand? Good.
Yep.
So we don't want to make that call. We want this call to be stubbed out. So how do we do that? Well, we do that by using the webmock gem. Yes. So we're just going to go to the home page, and we will see here that we can require webmock for RSpec, right? We need to add this, and it says here that you should add it to the spec helper. You should add it to the Rails helper if you are in Rails. Okay, just take a note of that. It's better for you. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go to the Rails helper, and we're gonna require this. We can require it here, webmock RSpec, and then we need to enable that. Well, I don't even think we need to enable it. Let's just require it, and let's see what happens.
I think we figured the enable is if you want to enable other calls, like outside calls.
Okay.
So if you, as a default, when this one is activated, you're not allowed to do any external calls. It's
Right.
gonna error on your ass.
Yes. Okay.
So that's
So now everything breaks for a different reason. Now it says webmock net connect not allowed error. So we're not allowed to make any network calls anymore in our test environment. Exactly as Lucas said. That just by requiring this inside of our Rails helper, everything is forbidden. But webmock is very kind to us because it says, it explains that real HTTP connections are disabled. You can stop this request with the following snippet, they say. And here it comes a little bit of code. Isn't that nice? Right? So we don't have to figure shit out ourselves. They actually tell us what to do. So let's do that. So in our test, and we're going to really pick the low-hanging fruit here. There are many configurations that you can do in this, but let's do the simple thing. Before we make the call, we want to stub this out like this. Okay. So we make that we create that stub before we actually make the call to our own API. Do you understand?
Yep.
Okay. And here it says get, and it automatically knows what URL we were trying to hit, that we got that for free. And then with headers, host, news, a user agent, we don't need any of this. Actually, we don't need anything of this. What we want is to return status 200, and please note that I'm refactoring the hash rockets to the more modern hash standard. And the body should be what? It should probably not be an empty. We can remove the headers. We don't care about the headers. It shouldn't be an empty response, but probably expected response, the thing that we get from the file fixture. Do you understand? So the body should be the file fixture, the expected response. So we'll just say expected response. And then the rest. Like, yeah, well, that looks good. I would refactor this to put this dot here rather than here. But other than that, we should be okay. But you never know until you run it, right? So let's run it. Yeah, because I forgot a semicolon. Colon. I forgot it. Mea culpa. Shoot me, sue me. I don't know.
Okay.
Aaron, your camera is off. Any reason? We're not running the run test. Let's see. Right, and now it works. You understand? So now we are not really making the call to the API. We are actually stopping everything from happening. And this is the simplest way to do this, people. Just to pretend that you were making the call. In real life, if we would use Postman to, well, let's see, we can spin up our application. So we can do Rails server, and that would spin up the application on localhost 3000. So if I now do localhost HTTP localhost 3000, and then API external Thomas, like this, and it's a GET request, right? So we send this off, and we got this real response. Do you understand? Because this one is the server. We are not in test environment. We're actually making this call. But when we are in test environment, we are not making this call, and we're getting something different. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. Because now, knowing this, how to use this, you know that you can stub out the call to Clarify API or the Monkey Learn API. You don't necessarily have to do them yourself. You can make them as fake requests, and you can predict what sort of response you will get from those external resources. And that is pretty neat, because now we are in control. We are in control of the whole enchilada, I would say. And the problem that might arise is that depending on how your application is structured, you might get into issues with webmock if you are if you are making any internal calls, like to your own API from within your application, or if you actually want to open up something for network calls but close others, then you can do more configuration. You can tell webmock to let's see, You can tell webmock to accept certain things, like you can stub request any. You can be you can be very specific. So for instance, you can stub out the GET request to a specific server, or you can stub out all requests, even post, patch, delete requests. You can use lambdas to modify to have your conditional for what you want to do. This is, by the way, a shorthand for lambda, just so you know, just so you don't have to say the word lambda. You can also, let's see.
Sorry, can we have this link?
No, you can search webmock gem. No, you can't have this link. Jesus Christ, David. Why would you even ask me such a thing? Please.
He's learning from you, Thomas, using the lazy approach to doing things.
Yeah.
Get someone else to give it to
I
me.
mean, there must be something. You're a really good student there, David. Thank you very much for, pick up other stuff than the laziness. Okay. Gem webmock, please. Okay, I can send you the link. I can send it in Twitch. There we go. Right. So, Jesus, may I have the link? Yeah, sure. There was something about allow. Yeah, here we go. So sometimes you want to disable net connect, but you want to allow any calls to localhost. So that is doable. You can you can sometimes disable them, and then you can allow them in your tests, or you can allow specific websites or specific domains and so on, right? So there's a lot of things you can do with webmock, but I just wanted to show you the first thing, and that's what I did. Any questions on that? Luke, did you learn anything?
Yeah. How to stub out in RSpec compared to what we did in Cypress. So that was good to see, and that you should definitely check the error messages, because it'll tell you what to do here. So that's really good. The only question I had was when it says like the web mock disable, where would you put that code or that line of code?
Wherever. You can do it in before block, after blocks. You can do it inside of your test. Inside in here, you want to do something, and then you want to enable it, and then you want to do something more. So you can place that anywhere you want. I would say. Seva, did you pick up anything?
Yeah, but I'll have to rewatch it because it's
so exciting. It's so exciting.
Yeah, but this is cool. This will be helpful very soon.
Very soon, absolutely.
Yeah.
Arun, I know you came in a bit late. Did you pick up anything?
Yeah, you're muted. Or...
Well, he's not muted, but your sound is not working. Nope.
I think on
It'll work now.
Now it works.
There we go.
It'll work. I was very late, I think. So I think in the last what was going on little bit, I was hearing about monkey, something like, No,
that was that tiny little bit, yeah. But yes.
So I think I lost so much. So.
But there is a recording of this, so you will be able to rewatch this. Luke can fill you in later. Absolutely. Christer.
I missed just early in the start what you were doing, so I have to look that up too. But it was nice to see how you used that stub.
Cool. The key.
And I have to look into this webmock gem.
Yeah.
Read it too.
Yeah, and use it. That's the best thing. Absolutely. So the two takeaways is the REST client and the webmock. REST client for production and webmock for testing. So whenever you guys add this, remember that REST client needs to be in the main group of your gem file, whereas webmock goes into the development and test. Okay.
Just to reiterate, REST client was Axios of Ruby.
That's one way to put it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. David, did you pick up anything here?
Yes, sure. I think we're almost on this step to use this, our group, Stefan, I mean. So yeah, of course, we will need it like in half an hour maybe.
Awesome. And it was good timing for a change.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Good. And Kim,
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully I picked something up. I kind of zoned out a little bit, so I have to rewatch this.
never zone out. Never zone out.
Yeah,
I did that too.
Yes.
like a bit back and forward, like when it was a lot of stuff that didn't work
Yeah.
out. I kind of zoned out.
Remember that, to be honest, that's actually when I need your attention at most, because if there's one thing that you guys do is to fuck up, right? So it's the best part of all those demos is when I fuck up, then you should, oh, now he's fucking up, let's watch what the fuck he's doing to unfuck himself. So that's when I really need your attention. You can skip the other parts. No, you can't. But what I'm saying is that's when I need all hands on deck.
Yeah.
Awesome, good stuff. Lucas, I mean, did I miss anything?
No, I think they will be prepared enough for these API calls.
Awesome.
Definitely.
And yes, you could modify a little bit of the webmock behavior here in the Rails helper. You can add a before block here, or around or something, but I wouldn't fuck around with that too much in the beginning. Just focus on the things that actually works. And you know what I say, pick the low-hanging fruit, as that's the mantra here. Do as little as possible and get the most possible effect. If you can ask for a link, as the vid, just ask for it. That's okay. Be lazy, people. Be lazy.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Can I have the? No, you cannot. All right. Unless there's anything else, people, chat. If you have any questions, speak up or forever hold your peace. We all have to deal with the cards that have been dealt to us, and this is the legacy of attending a course with me. You'll get chewed out if you ask for a link. That's the spirit. All right. Thank you very much for your attention. Take it easy. Stay cool.
I'll be around if you guys need anything. Just hit me up if you get a blog or such stuff.
Okie dokie. All right. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
So long.